So I am very excited about this part. This is, if it's what I think I saw, this should be pretty exciting. So I'm gonna unroll it. There's a number of them. I'm gonna unroll them one at a time. So welcome back to another day. I know the last few days have seemed like I was running a brick and stump removal business, but I think we're just about done with that. Almost, anyway. So where we left off the other day, I cleaned this area off. There was a big old stump right here, and this was just a disgusting mess. The next thing I have to tackle is over here, but before I move on from this section, I really want to get to this. I know I'm not ready to tackle in behind where you see the car back here yet, but I really want this gone. Now, the thing that gets me over here and what's really kind of stopped me is we got these really nice irises growing in here, and I don't want to pull them up without a plan. They're not staying here, but I don't want to pull them up and just kill them. They're nice plants and, you know, they're well established. So what I've decided instead, we're going to head over. So coming over here, I've been going back and forth on this, but I think I'm pretty well decided at this point. So we've got this clump of trees here, this clump of trees, and the apple tree right here. And I was thinking, and I actually have to zoom out because it's a nice big area, I'm going to make this area here into one nice big garden. And I'm not sure if you recall, I got a nice Seesii tiller to try out on it now, so I'm gonna get that cleaned up. I'm gonna get it tilled, and just because I like maintenance free, I don't have a lot of time for gardening. I love gardening, but I don't have a massive amount of time for it, so when I make gardens, I make them as maintenance free as possible. I know it sounds a little bit lazy, but weeding is a really hard thing to get around to. Anybody who does garden understands that very well. It's one of the most time-consuming things, and if you don't keep up with it, it gets ahead of you really, really fast. So I go for maintenance-free gardening as much as possible. You know, maybe when I retire, I won't have to worry about that so much, and I can get some fun plants in. But until then, we're gonna get that tilled up. We're gonna get some landscape fabric down, and we'll see how far we get today. So here's the new Seesii tiller we're going to be using. You can see it's pretty small. It does seem like it's pretty light duty, but we're going to see how it holds up for this. I kind of like the idea of using this. Not only is it cordless, which is nice on its own, but I have to maneuver between these little trees, and I have to do tight little areas around the trees. So in terms of the center area, probably, I mean, I'm sure it'll do just fine. We're about to find out, but for the rest of it, I'm excited about having something approximately this size because that's going to help me maneuver a lot better. So let's see how it works. All right, so I just want to take a second and let you know. So for a tool like this is not the normal use. I put it through the ringer. So I left long grass, it went over roots, it hit bricks. This is not previously cultivated soil. In fact, I'm pretty sure vehicles were driving through here at one point. This ground is tough. So a lot of the reason I wanted to do this is that I'm pretty sure our average viewer, based on the comments, we're not talking about, you know, contractors, we're talking about everyday homeowners who are watching. So it seemed useful to me to showcase everyday tools. So, you know, you can find a tool like this and a name brand, it's going to be great, but it's also going to be incredibly expensive. This is a relatively economy price. So this kit was about 200 bucks. And that's really good for, you know, considering the tool it is. And that came with 2 batteries. So that's actually a pretty incredible deal for what you're getting in terms of cordless equipment. Now the beauty of it is it held up. So for the average homeowner, you know, you're pulling that out, what, once, maybe twice a year. You don't use it very often, nor does it go through this kind of abuse. So I've now tried out the tiller. And I've tried out the pruning saw with the extension pole, so the pole pruner, and that's Seesii. So we're gonna throw a link in the description below, and you can go ahead and check it out for yourself. They're great prices and great products. So far from what I've tried, I'd buy them. And you know, for working around the house, they're perfect. They're absolutely perfect for this. Haven't had any failures. I've been using that mini pruner, pretty steady. I even used it on the stumps back there, and it's been great. So check them out, that's Seesii, and yeah, great product. So, but let's get this finished up. I think that's tilled up well enough. I'm gonna level out the soil, maybe take out some of the stumps I missed. And yeah, there was still quite a bit of debris in here. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, let's get to it. Well, if you thought that was a bit premature, well, you're probably right. But I got a number of plants in the property. Some of them I brought. And those plants are actually plants I held on to from previous property. So I've been holding on to them for quite a while. And as far as the plants that are around the property already, some of them just have to go. So it's either they just go the way of the world or I put them somewhere. So I'm not going to worry about the edging. I'm not going to worry about mulching. I'm not going to do any of that, probably for a while. But this gives me somewhere to put the plants that I want to keep. And we'll worry about the details later. So I'm probably going to take care of the planting tomorrow. I want to hop back inside. I don't have too much time left, and I left you hanging last time, so I'm going to finish that job up. So this is where I left off. Now the reason for the cliffhanger, unfortunately, my camera died and I didn't have a charging cord with me. I was a little bit disorganized that day, so it cut off. Thankfully I caught it before I did too much more, and I kind of called it a day there. It was already getting a little late, so it didn't really bother me that much. But we're gonna finish up what I started here because this is part of getting organized so I can have an easier time down the road. And once this is done, I'm gonna move on to the next job. All right, so now I've got that cleaned up. I didn't take everything out without a plan. I know I got rid of some shelving and a desk, and it seems quite necessary, but it was also inefficient storage. So I pulled out from storage a couple of workbenches that I already had, and I'm going to throw those in place instead, and that'll be a much more workable surface. And after that, I'm going to show you something real special I found. I haven't actually looked at it myself, but it was behind the desk. And I'm going to unveil that on camera. It'll be the first time I see it too. I just saw a little corner, and should be pretty cool. So look forward to that in a sec. All right, so I am very excited about this part. This is, if it's what I think I saw, this should be pretty exciting. So I'm going to unroll it. There's a number of them. I'm going to unroll them one at a time. So this is definitely hand painted. I could see on the edges where they had their masking tape and you know, a little bit of the bleed through from it. And when I look closely, I could see the individual brush strokes. So this is really, really interesting. And I don't see any signature on it. Might be a mark in the back. These were definitely professional though. Like this is a really high quality canvas, and to have held up the way it did, they used good quality paint as well. This one's got a little bit of damage there, unfortunately. Really quite something though. Yeah, you can see on the back, you can see some little paint marks. I'm just going to take this plastic off. Yeah, so that's absolutely gorgeous. The damage on this too, there's a little bit of staining up in the corners here. This can all be repaired and fixed up. And even all these wrinkles here, you can actually fix this if you're very gentle using an iron and a damp towel. You can iron it, and you can get the canvas right back to where it was. It could also be stretched out over a frame, which would also fix it up. Yeah, but this was somebody who really knew what they were doing. And when I look over here, I think this was actually somebody who probably followed Bob Ross. And the way I could tell is the pine trees here. He was very fond of using the fan brush, and while most artists will use just the corner of the fan brush, Bob Ross would actually use it on the flat, and that's how he would often get the boughs in these pine trees here. Yeah, he was very known for that. Oh, we do have a signature on this one. It's hard to make out, but maybe I'll snap a picture of that afterwards. Actually, Ray, let's just put the picture up right here, and we'll see if anybody can identify this based on that. Now, I'm not sure if you will, because as I said, I'm looking at it, and this is definitely somebody who followed Bob Ross. This might be one of his tutorials. It's got a signature mountains. Even the clouds look very, very much like Bob Ross. But this is somebody who is extremely well practiced and does beautiful, beautiful artwork. So we'll see. I'd like to know your thoughts on this in the comments below. So here it is, last one, is it? Oh no, there's another one after this. So this is not Bob Ross style when we get into these still lifes. And let's see. This one is actually a portrait. Once again, absolutely gorgeous. So this is an oil painting, and I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, there's a little bit of chewing right there. That's all right, it's not on the painting itself. Obviously I'm going to have to get these really nice and clean before they go in a frame or anything. Yeah, but whoever did this, not only do they do nice oil painting, but you can, it's probably hard to tell from what you're seeing, but you can really see a lot of depth in the color, which means they used a lot of glazing. It's how you get that nice depth with oil painting. And this is, once again, a really beautiful piece. Oh, here we go. So this one here is more of an impressionist style. And that's really unique. I like that. Well, we've took a bit of time to, glare at these, but I really should put them away and get back to work. But, once again, just let me know your thoughts, and, if you're loving the finds, if you're loving what we're up to, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that. You know the drill. It goes a long way to help the channel, and, let's keep at it. All right, well, that was really cool, but we're back inside now. I really got to keep things going in here. I just got to throw some things back in the shelf, and it's mostly just sorting out my own stuff, so I'll take care of that later. But in the meantime, we had another bat fall out, and a little mess of insulation there, and a little mess of insulation over here. So I'm going to get that swept up. And then I'm probably going to hop onto doing some electrical work. I'll start by placing the boxes. We've just about got the kitchen finalized. Once it's finalized, I'll be able to really get going on a lot of stuff. But I don't want to fall behind on the project, so I'm going to get done what I can for right now. All right, let's get to it. All right, so I forgot to turn the camera on. I apologize. So we didn't catch the sweep up. So yeah, if that bothers you, feel free to let me know, I guess. So I have here a box of boxes, and I think where I'm going to start, actually, because there's really nothing in my way, nothing stopping me at all. None of the layout that we haven't planned or anything like that is really affecting me. I'm going to go ahead and start with the lights. So I could probably get that roughed in. Maybe I even get it done tonight. We'll see. I don't know. I can't just go until I get tired, so we'll see when we get done. It's all good. All right, let's get it done. All right, so I had to do a little bit of figuring before I went and, just started running wire all over the place. So I have some existing circuits that I have to work with. And ideally, I kind of want the lights, for the most part, on their own circuit. At least for the bedrooms and, a good portion of the main floor. And the idea is if you trip the breaker in the bedroom or other places, you don't want to turn out the lights as well. So it's nice to have them kind of dedicated. So you can see by my tape. So what I've done earlier on is I went through and I traced every single line. And I have colored tape on indicating which circuit that each one belongs to. So this is the purple that I'm identifying here. So it's tied into a good portion of the kitchen plugs. And then all the lights for the most part. The only light that's not on that circuit on the main floor is the living room light, and we'll live with that. I might get that one on the same circuit anyway, but we'll see. I'm not sure that'll be necessary, and I also got to watch because there's a limit to how many receptacles you can have per circuit. So I probably won't do that. So what I want to do, we're going to be adding a bath vent. So I'm going to make this a double receptacle here. So I'm going to put a 2-gang box in. So I'm going to expand this opening, remove the existing box, and I'm going to run the wire for the bath vent. And I'm not going to do anything with this wire just yet. I do want to get that in the proper box. What I'm waiting on here is where I'm centering it exactly. So we're not 100% on how big the vanity is. And we want to keep a sconce light in here. That's nice for a bathroom. So I need to know where I'm centering it. So I'm going to leave that one alone for the time being, but I'm going to expand this box. And on this wall somewhere, I have to add a switch because I'm going to be putting a hallway light in. I know it's not much of a hallway anymore, but there still has to be a light here. So where that power came in originally was right about here. There was a wire that stemmed up to the breaker panel, and that fed most of the lights, and for the most part the circuits that you see going around and into the kitchen. So I'm going to be running a new line down to the breaker through here. I'm going to add an outlet here and pull this line back to that outlet and have the new line from the breaker tap into that outlet. And then it's going to branch off and it's going to go back to feed the lights, and that's going to power everything back up. I ripped out, I'm not sure if you recall, in the video when I was demoing out for the chimney, I tore out 3 strands of lights, whatchamacallit, wires that were feeding the lights. So I have to get that all back up to par. So the ones that it was feeding were the hallway light, the dining room light, and the kitchen light, which is on a 3-way. So that 3-way, the line is still up there. I'll be replacing the one I cut, and then the other one goes over here to this switch. Now, because we're going to be extending this wall all the way up to the ceiling, I still have to rework all these wires here because they were originally in soffit section. So we have to get them inside the wall. So I'll be reworking all that as well. But for right now, let's focus here. It took me a while to figure out exactly what I was going to do here. Probably longer than it should, so I don't think I'll get that much done today, but we'll see. Nice, I got all that sweeping done. Alright, so it's actually been a little while now since I've been down here in the basement. I'm down here because, if you paid attention, I drilled a hole through the base plate of the wall upstairs. We're going to run a fresh line. So where the original line came up to feed all those lights, that wall is now tore out. So we have to put a new line in, a new route. So I'm going to feed it into that outlet, and from there we're going to run it into the rest of the lights. I'm also going to be removing a couple of the outlets from the circuit. There's probably only going to be 2 outlets on the circuit by the time I'm done, and then the kitchen plugs are going to be on their own circuit. It's just a little more proper that way. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything fed over to the breaker. We won't be connecting it today. We're just going to be marking the line and leaving it ready to hook up when we get a new breaker panel. So let's get this done. So there's the new hole, and as long as we make it over here, what we'll notice is a lot of these lines are dead. We've got holes drilled through, and a lot of these are dead lines. Not all of them are, but they are for the most part. So we'll be able to follow these down all the way to here, and it'll be replacing one of these lines. We'll just pull that out and we'll just leave it dangling for the next breaker panel. So now that I've got it like this, you'll notice I pulled up way too much. And that's fine. So what I plan to do, I'm going to get the wire to where it's going, step out enough. Now that it's like this, I'm going to staple it in place, and then I'm going to pull it from down below, and that's basically going to get it to the right length. Now I was about to run the line here for the lights, and I was forced to stop and think about something. So we have the dining room light, which has to be fed, and that was originally on the same circuit that we're working. So I feel like we can put the switch here for the dining room, but I'd like it on a 3-way, and I'd like it to tap into this one right here. So make that a 2-gang box, and then have 2 switches there. One would do the dining room, and that would make a bit more sense. But I'm not sure, maybe I want to do a switch here as well. But one way or another, it's a 3-way. So I'm thinking if I have to tap into this box anyway, and this light is on, it's the only light on that particular circuit that feeds the plugs in the bedrooms. So it's not really a big deal if I use it because there's not really much on that circuit. So I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll put the switch here, three-way. We'll get power through this line, and I'm going to feed it to the dining room, and then I'm going to add a switch right here. So, I don't know. I'm going to think about that for a second, and then I'll act. So I'm going to take 5 and then I'll get back to it. I just got to consider my options here. But one way or another, power's either coming in from this side or it's coming in from this side off a separate circuit. So I'll figure that out real quick and get right back to work. Alright, so what I decided, I'm going to put the switch here because it makes a little bit more sense. It's more relevant to the room itself. So I'm going to let the power come in from this circuit, which just simplifies things in the long run, because otherwise I have to have 2 power feeds over here or kill a power feed behind the wall, which I'm not uncovering. So I'd rather leave the lines relevant as much as possible, because I'm very certain, based on what I've seen, that the main floor circuits are just fine. There's not really any problems with them. I still have to get the mega ohm reading done, but I'm pretty confident with that. So I'm going to go ahead with that game plan for right now, and we're going to go ahead and feed over from this outlet. We're going to go up into the attic and down, and we're going to go into this switch box here, and then we're going to have a line come over to this side and come through here, and this is going to be a 2-gang because there's going to be 2 separate switches. One is going to operate the light and one is going to operate the fan. So that was a really tight squeeze. The the old wire there is pretty thick. I think that's a 12 gauge. So I don't have a whole lot of line there to work with, but if absolutely need be, I can always pull it out and run some more wire through. I didn't want to force it too much, or I could risk damaging the insulation. So I'll work with that. There's more than enough there to attach it to an outlet and shove it in, so it's good. So now I have power into this outlet. So what I have to do is I have to run a line up to the light. And I haven't removed this drywall yet, so I'm going to remove that, install a box. And what I also have to do is run power from this box to the gang box behind it in the bathroom. And then this line here, this is going to be killed. So this is on a separate circuit. We're now going to attach it to our light circuit. And that's going to feed both the fan and the light in the bathroom here. So this line's going to get changed. I'm not going to be installing this box yet because I don't know exactly where we're running this light as of right now. But I can run the light to the fan. So I'm going to get that started right now, starting with the lines that are running out of this box, and I'm going to get this box installed. Alright, so now I'm going to remove this line here, this box, and this line. Now, the wall down here is going to be removed, at least a little bit of it. So I'll be able to reach where this line comes in and disconnect it on the other side as well. So once I get this off, I'm going to make sure everything's marked off. Otherwise, I got to try and remember what I did, and all the lines look alike. So I'm getting everything marked as I go, and let's get done. Alright, leave it just like that for now. Alright, well, I tell you what, it's still kind of a mess, but I'm feeling kind of hungry, so I'm going to call it a night right here. I'll take care of cleanup when I come back. Not a big deal. And just remember, if you want to tag along for the rest of the journey, we definitely appreciate it. And, hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way to help the channel, and we really appreciate it. So, yeah, stick around for the rest of it. And, yeah, we got a lot done today. I always kind of wish I did more. But, I kind of have to accept, I go till I'm tired, and that's good enough. As long as you go to bed tired, you did a good day, as a rule. So, we got some of the electrical done. We can't go too far into that because we don't have all the finished layouts, but we can do the lights right now. So I got that well underway. I just got to tap in 2 more lights to this circuit, and that's complete. And then I can probably get the living room done. So I'm going to work on that right after. And we had some pretty cool stuff in the garage done. Having those workbenches in there, that's going to make a huge difference for me. Just having proper workable surfaces to, be able to sort things. And finding those paintings, that was so cool. I am ecstatic. So I am into art. I really appreciate it, and I love true artistry. I do it as a hobby. I'm nowhere near what I saw there, what I uncovered. But I do kind of aspire to that, and hopefully one day I can find the time and buckle down and get good at it. But yeah, no, that was a really cool find. That was definitely the highlight of the day for me. So till tomorrow, maybe another big discovery, who knows? And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.